Hey all, Kunik here, back with another RPG horror story for you all today. In this story, we have a player who really likes to suicide every single character that he creates. I won't say any more, so with that said, let's roll for initiative and begin the story. I have a role-playing group led by this awesome veteran GM who not only crafts these awesome settings and challenges, but loves to incorporate player characters into their own story arcs that also fit into a major arc. The group consisted of mostly new players and one veteran player who will be known as Bob. Bob was a good player. Bob had a history with the GM. The two of them had played with each other, sometimes in the GM seat, sometimes in the player seat, for years. Bob understood the mechanics of every game we played perfectly and knew how to roleplay a variety of different characters, from wizened wizards to shrew rogues, but he had a very odd and increasingly disturbing trait. Bob would go through weird lengths to get his own characters killed. When I first joined the group, Bob was playing a lawful evil necromancer who'd sacrificed the living to his god of death for power. The rest of the group was also in the neutral to evil category, so no one thought much of this. What was also interesting was that Bob's character would also sacrifice bits of himself for added power. It started small, a bit of skin or the tip of a fingernail, stuff a wizard could easily heal that wouldn't hinder him in battle. But it slowly escalated to larger chunks of his own body, until he was a shambling mess of missing limbs and eyes. This culminated with a climactic battle in which he sacrificed his own life for one big spell to kill the big bad evil guy. This would have been a cool, noble sacrifice, except Bob's character was far from noble, and it didn't make much sense in context as to why he'd kill his own character. On average, Bob went through 3 to 4 characters per campaign. I felt bad for the GM. He really worked hard to incorporate each of Bob's characters into the overarching stories, and they'd always die with their characters' arcs unfinished. In one campaign, Bob went through so many characters: wizard crushed to death by a giant he was standing under while attacking him, sorcerer murdered by an evil cult he joined, then immediately betrayed, barbarian with a -2 charisma who decided to hit on the big bad evil guy repeatedly, monk who willingly gave himself to a different evil cult to be sacrificed. The deaths gave our games a weird vibe. No one wants to roleplay with Bob's character because what would be the point? His character deaths weren't interesting, heroic, sad, or anything. It was just an excuse for Bob to roll up a new character. I have also had characters that either mechanically or their personality didn't work for me, but I always talked to the GM to have them just walk away from the group and get exchanged for someone new, or retroactively change the character's abilities to make them more fun to play. But Bob's attitude on death was just macabre. Too Long Didn't Read. A player who'd purposely get his characters killed all the time, ruining any sense of depth in the story and lowering the value of a meaningful death. End post. Okay, I'm not a psychologist, and I really don't know the person in question, but if I were a betting man, these could be some sort of a hint towards his real-life issues. Maybe he himself is suicidal, who knows? I don't really want to speculate on that though, because it's kind of a dark subject and not really something suited for the channel. So let's talk about his character deaths instead. As with what the OP said, if you're not enjoying playing your character, simply talk to the DM and find a better way about it. Getting all of your characters killed through various increasingly more idiotic means isn't really going to do anyone good, and it's going to really just be a huge detriment to the campaign. Imagine this being in any of your campaigns. If you have a player who's just dying left and right all the time throughout the entire campaign, and then your death happens, like, what does your death mean to theirs? They would have dragged down the value of your death by their meaningless deaths. So it's really a negative thing to have at a table. Maybe the first time it would be a lot of fun, but after 2 or 3 times, I mean, it's just stop. Talk to the DM. Work with him to come up with a better way than just needlessly killing your character. Anyhow, I'd love to hear what you all have to say about this, so let's have a chat about it down in the comments. Anyhow, that's all for this story. As always, if you liked the post and you want to see more just like it, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon to be notified of future videos. And don't forget, we do have a Discord server, so feel free to hop on that too if you'd like to chat with us in a more direct manner. Now, while you wait for a new video to come out from my channel, here are a few related videos that you can watch in the meantime.